Hello students and everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am going to teach you Figure of Speech Part 1 English Grammar. A figure of speech is a word or phrase that possesses a separate meaning from its literal definition. There are different types of figure of speech in English language. Different figures of speech are having separate meaning and separate definitions. Alliteration. Alliteration is the repetition of the initial consonant sound in successive words. In alliteration, beginning of the letters are repeated of 2 or 3 words. There are 4 examples of sentences of alliteration given below. Number 1. Furrow followed free into the silent sea. The sound of letter F is repeated of this sentence. Next, she sells seashells by the seashore. The sound of letter S is repeated of this sentence. Next, fair is foul and foul is fair. The sound of letter F is repeated of this sentence. Next, sheep should sleep in a shed. The sound of letter S is repeated of this sentence. All these 4 example sentences of alliteration are repeating beginning letters of 3 or 4 words. Now I will talk about inversion. The use of inversion is the words are not in a correct prose order in a sentence. In inversion, the ideas of sentence are given in a reverse order. You have to rewrite the sentence in a correct prose order. For example, but don't you quit. The ideas of this sentence are not in a correct prose order. The correct prose order is but you don't quit. Look another example sentence of inversion. Hungry I am. The ideas of this sentence are not in a correct prose order. The correct prose order is I am hungry. Repetition. Repetition is a literary device that repeats the same words or phrases a few times to make an idea clearer. Repetition is a figure of speech that are repeated words or phrases in a sentence. Examples of 3 lines sentences of repetition are given below. A horse is a horse, of course, and no one can talk to a horse of course, that is of course, unless the horse is the famous Mr. The words horse, of course are repeated for poetic effect. Read this poem which in a few seconds. Altogether, there are 4 stanzas of this poem. The words which are repeated of all the 4 stanzas of this poem. Other figures of speech will continue on next part. Let's begin an exercise now. Use the figures of speech in the following sentences. No stir in the hair, no stir in the sea. The figure of speech used is repetition. The words no stir in the are repeated for poetic effect. Other figure of speech used of this sentence is alliteration. The sound of letter S is repeated for poetic effect. Next, Dawn sang the bell with a gurgling sound. The figure of speech used is inversion. Words are not in a correct prose order. The correct order is the bell sang down with a gurgling sound. Next, the ship was still as she could be. The figure of speech used is alliteration. The sound of letter S is repeated for poetic effect. Next, oh, her eyes make the stars look like they are not shining. The figure of speech used is repetition. The words her eyes are repeated for poetic effect. If you understood figure of speech part 1, give us the feedback or comments. Subscribe the channel, like and share. Thank you.